I'm just gonna say this. I knew how this movie was gonna end, but look, movie, if you wanted me to root for the good guys, don't give the bad guys all the good music. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Talkin Movies. As always, I'm your host, the real Gino Reynolds, and today we're going to be returning to the land of Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake's Trolls. Today we're going to be talking about Trolls World Tour. This is the first new movie that hadn't been in theaters that is being released on VOD. Now, at the time of this recording, you're able to rent the movie for $20. And I'll tell you in a bit if I think it's worth it or how you could make it worth it. What this movie is about is we're continuing the story of Poppy and Branch. And we find out after the rock trolls, who are your villains in this movie, I'll say quote unquote villains, they are going to take music away from other troll lands. It turns out there's other lands of trolls. You've seen the trailer. There's different music for different lands, and they each have a string, and if all the strings are together, the music will be united under whoever holds the string. So the queen of the rock trolls, Barb, wants to get all the strings and unite the world under rock. Again, this is the movie's first problem because my favorite music is rock music, and if you want me to root for you want me to root for the good guys, don't make the bad guys the best music, in my opinion. I kid because I know other people like other kinds of music, but for me it was like every song that Barb sang it was like something I liked or a version of something I like. So when they start taking the strings, Poppy is like, oh, she's trying to unite the world. So I'm going to go, she gets an invitation. It's like, I'm going to join her and we're going to unite the world. And Branch is like, I don't think that's what's going on. Poppy's dad tells her that's not what's going on, and tells her about all the different troll lands and how they had to separate the strings. And that actually comes into play later, which is something I really liked about the movie. And I will warn you, there's probably going to be some spoilers in this movie. But, I mean, come on. You see the trailer for this, you can kind of tell where this movie's going to go anyway. I do want to talk about, is it worth it? Is it worth paying the $20 for? And I want to talk about something that's going to be happening here soon with Warner Brothers. You can rent this movie for $20. Now, I didn't pay $20 because I had some Vudu credits. So thankfully I didn't pay for everything. I didn't pay the full $20. You can only rent it for like 2 days. You can hold on to it, but as soon as you watch it, at least on Vudu, as soon as you watch it, you've only got 2 days to watch it. I don't like that, to be honest. I know they want people to rent it over and over again, but no one's going to do that. Now, is it worth the $20? I'd say it is if you have more than one kid. Because if you think about it, you go to the theater, say you and your significant other take the kids, you're looking at like, and we'll say $10 a ticket on average, depending on where you are. So you're looking at $40 of tickets right there, plus popcorn, all that stuff. So of course it's a good deal if you have a family at home, but if you're like me and you add the AMC Stubs list, if you're on the AMC Stubs list and you got 3 movies a week and you're used to paying $22 a month, $20 for just your ticket. Yes, I have kids, but honestly, they really didn't want to watch it. They will eventually, I'm sure, but they just didn't feel like watching it after I'd rented it. They went back to their moms whenever I finally watched it because I had to watch it to do a radio segment. And I tried to get them to watch it like 3 or 4 times. They just weren't that excited about it. They liked the original Trolls okay, but it's just okay. So is it worth it if you've got kids that really want to see it? Yeah, it's good for a rental for $20. But is it worth the $20 if you just thought the other Trolls movie was okay, like me? I'd say not really. If you can find a way to pay cheaper, like if you have credits or something like that, to make it cheaper, it's better. The cheaper it is, the better. Now, Warner Brothers, and I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but Warner Brothers is going to be releasing their Scooby-Doo movie, the Scoob movie, the same way. That being said, they're going to make it for rental for 20, or you can actually buy it for 25. That would be the smart move. Yeah, you're paying $5 extra, but if the kids like it, well, you can watch it anytime you want. So I think that Warner Brothers learned from Trolls. It's like, yeah, but people aren't going to rent it more than once. So we might as well just, tack on $5 and offer for them to buy it. And chances are most people are going to see that as a deal, especially if the kids want to watch it over and over and over again. Imagine if kids want to watch the Trolls World Tour movie over and over and over again. You got to keep renting it over and over and over again. That's going to lead to piracy, to be honest. People are going to screen capture their screens and capture it and not pay them anything. They're going to feel like, well, I'm paying $20. I'm not going to pay $20 again. I'm going to watch it anytime I want. So I think Warner Brothers is like, look, we'll just tack on $5 and we think people will pay it. Granted, still some people will probably still rent it for 20 and capture their screen anyway. But I think Warner Brothers is making a pretty smart move in offering the movie to buy. That being said, if the kids really like it and they're stuck at home, they can watch it multiple times and not have to keep paying for it. So end of tangent there. I had to go back and remember what I even thought of the other movie. I wasn't going to go back and watch it. I went back and watched my review, and then I remembered, oh yeah, that movie Strange Magic came out right before Trolls, and Trolls was like a way better version. That's not saying much because it was just an okay movie, but it was like a way better, more fun, more whimsical and kid-friendly version of Strange Magic. And I think that's what helped that movie for me when it came out. Trolls was fine. And really, Trolls World Tour, for the most part, a lot of people are saying they like the first Trolls better, and I get that, because even though I didn't think it had the most original story, at least they tried to not just go for a lot of the tropes that World Tour did, because, again, it was pretty tropey too, but it wasn't as tropey as Trolls World Tour. Trolls World Tour didn't have really anything totally original. This is the first movie I've ever live tweeted, which, by the way, I'm never live tweeting again, because how can you enjoy the movie if you're trying to, come up with clever and funny things to say on Twitter while you're watching a movie? I had to keep stopping the movie, and it was just making me angry. And it's like, man, this movie's taking me a lot longer than it should to watch. But as I was watching this movie, I'm just like, man, it's, pretty much what's all going to happen. I mean, there was a couple things that happened here and there that I was like, oh, cool, I like that. Because, that being said, it's just, if you like the first one, this one's fine. You can tell that, like the first one, they built this one from the album up. It's based around the music. I did find it hilarious that, and I'll try to remember all the music. It was Wannabe from the Spice Girls, Marky Mark's Good Vibrations, Who Let the Dogs Out, Gangnam Style, and that LMFAO song were, by Poppy's words, the greatest songs of all time. So I thought that was pretty funny. And with what ends up happening to the Trolls people, or to the pop trolls, because they're all different now, with what happens to them, that actually was kind of funny later because of something the pop trolls did. But my biggest gripe about the music is, I mean, I like all kinds of music, but again, the rock trolls had the best stuff. All the music is either classics, new takes on classics where they add like their own lyrics to the classics, or there is some original songs as well. There's nothing that really stands out, even though, again, I liked all the rock choices that they chose. And by the way, about the rock trolls, the fact that Ozzy Osbourne was the father of the movie's quote-unquote villain, Queen Barb. I love that. And they had a whole scene of, he was so old he couldn't get the horns up, so they had to help him get the horns up, and I liked that. That was kind of funny. So basically this movie is Poppy and Branch going to different kinds of trolls that have different music. And at first it's like, we need to unite. The movie's message is kind of confusing because it was saying we need to unite, but it wasn't saying unite under one music. The only person saying we have to unite under one music was Queen Barb, and she learns her lesson at the end very easily. Because of course it's that kind of movie. We can't have real villains in movies anymore. We gotta have villains that are always forgiven, especially in kids movies. So does anyone else miss real villains in kids movies? I think that's why, I mean, even though it was just a great movie anyway, why I loved like Into the Spider-Verse so much, because we actually had real villains that could lose in the end and not learn lessons. Even though Kingpin kind of did learn his lesson in a way. But anyway, the movie itself, they go to the different lands, they hear the different kinds of music, but the message is confusing because they're talking about, well, we're not to unite under one music, but we're supposed to unite and embrace all our own differences. So it's got a good message. It's accept everyone for who they are. Let them make their own music. Let them be who they are. It kind of treats music as race in a way, because again, one of the characters, and it's the character of Cooper. He's got he's the character with the long neck and like 4 legs. He goes on a side quest looking for trolls that are just like him. And it comes to find out he is a different kind of troll. But what's funny about Ron Funches doing the role is I can't get the voice of King Shark from the Harley Quinn show out of my head. It's the same thing when I watch the Harley Quinn show, and Dr. Psycho is the same voice as Forky from Toy Story. It's just kind of, I can never get that when I hear the other characters out of my head. I can't get the Harley Quinn voices out of my head. But they go and they in the end they all come together. It's hard for me to really talk about the movie because it's just like we go to this land and we learn about their music, and we see Barb take down other they take the strings from the other trolls, the other kind of different music trolls, and of course they all come together in one big finale, and all of music is destroyed, but it turns out that the music is really in here. And I mean, you knew where the movie was going to go. And the greatest part though for me was Ozzy Osbourne at the end saying to his daughter, Bob, and this is going to be a very poor Ozzy Osbourne impression, but Bob, just let them play whatever music they want. It's like, listen to Ozzy Osbourne. That's the moral of the movie. Listen to Ozzy Osbourne. So the movie itself, again, is fine. If you like the first movie, you're going to like this one. If your kids, especially if they love music, if they like the first one, they're going to like this one too. It's got its fun. I gave the movie a little credit for getting Sam Rockwell to voice a character named Hickory, and there's actually a twist with his character. I kind of made fun of it on Twitter. It's like, what a twist, because you knew there was going to be something with that character. But the movie did a little bit less of what I didn't like in the first one. There was only one scene where one character pooped out cupcakes. I didn't see it. I didn't see a character fart out glitter in this one. So because I can stand, of course there was the weird thing about gumdrops where they were using them as earplugs multiple times and then they would eat them. So that was kind of gross. Apparently trolls don't have nasty, disgusting ears like we humans do. All in all though, it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it for what it was, just like I enjoyed the first one for what it was. Again, the price is a little steep unless you've got at least like 2 kids that really want to see it. Still though, if you're just wanting to watch it, it's one you can wait on. It's not special enough that if you're just really interested in seeing it, you couldn't wait till they finally decide to take the price down to even like a reasonable like $6 or $7 to watch it. It's not worth the $20 rental fee if it's just you wanting to watch it. You need to have at least, I'll say at least 2 to 3 people that really want to see it before I can justify the $20 rental price. But anyway, it's not a bad movie. It's just not worth the price of admission. That being said, if you were going to take a bunch of people to the theater to see it anyway, this is going to be a better deal for you. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel, like this video, and if you have anything to say about Trolls World Tour, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Till next time, I'm your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. Rock on.